term woke, what does it mean? Well, the almighty Google says it's an alert to injustice, especially that of racism. So, given the fact that I'm 50% white, and the other half of me is even more white, my lawyers have informed me that I've already offended you, and for that I offer my most humble apology. I didn't ask to be born into this disgustingly white piece of racist flesh. But my lawyers also tell me that because of my whiteness, I'm probably also homophobic, and I only recognize two genders when there's obviously 42 of them. So, after a little bit of homosexuality training, which was uncomfortable at first, and then there was the gender bending class, which was pretty dope, and then there was a public flogging just to get the last bit of my psychological whiteness out, I've been told that I can grovel at your feet in order for you to smash that like button, comment below, subscribe to the channel if it doesn't offend you, and share the video out far and wide if it pleases you. And if YouTube hasn't already canceled me, I'll be back with more Waking Infinity stories. That was close. I thought I was going to get the axe, but YouTube deems me fit to talk about woke culture, at least to the 300 of you that are actually watching this show. Notice how all those views have gone down, down, down? Like the opposite is supposed to happen when you do more promotion, more videos, and YouTube gets the word out about you. Interesting, but I won't harp on that. The woke culture is all right with me, so I have at least another couple days here on this platform. So what am I getting at? What am I really getting at? Am I attacking woke culture? Am I making fun of it? Absolutely not. And I mean that. I'm not. When the old paradigm is or has already paved the way for an unlevel playing field, you need to do things to start upending its stranglehold over the power. I get that woke culture wants to take certain words out of the equation that are holding the psychological frequency together. And I mean this. I'm not even being tongue-in-cheek here. Sadiq Bikari, that I even mentioned before, I think it was in the last Waking Infinity News, he talks about how the word is the power of manifestation. So the word holds together our philosophies and our inner moral landscape and how that projects itself out there. So I get that there are certain words that aren't that good. And we don't yet have a consensus on why these things should change. We just have people championing causes. The whole thing about this is getting exhausting, but we do need change. So, where am I really going with this? Woke culture, I get you. I really do. I get the core of the fight and the struggle is real. But in order for change to become a household agreement, we need to get our own house in order. There are serious shortcomings in our language, in what we are open to, and also what we will accept from society. But historically, you can't force people not to hurt your feelings. Well, that's all changing now. Congratulations. Now, when somebody like me says, hey guys, I'm obviously only referring to the men of my audience because I'm a misogynist and I hate anything other than that one gender. Obviously, there I'm being a little tongue-in-cheek. But when you say guys, I've even gotten it. People up in arms, how dare you say guys? And you're talking to your audience like it's an exclusive men's club only. And obviously that's not what I'm really trying to go for. I'm part of the old world and I'm being slapped on the wrist. Okay, is that an acceptable form of change? Calling people out when they say something that isn't as accurate as it possibly could be. Well, think about any other field. When I go into the political arena and I say something like, oh, you lefties, and they're like, no, we're not lefties, we're progressives. And I say, oh, you conservatives, and they're like, no, we are shape-shifting reptilian overlords in the Illuminati. Every single faction that feels like we are inclusive and we have the stranglehold over which words can get used, how and when and where and why, they will politely or not so politely point out the words that you're using are inaccurate. Now, Could it be emotionally charged, and could some people be getting a little bit overly heated? For sure. Is that because of the times that we're in? Sure. Is that because of the mainstream media? 100%. It's not because people are just deciding, you know what, today I think I'm going to start getting offended when Ben says guys, because I don't identify myself as that gender anymore. And that could get super offensive, and then 3 months from now, people are attacking me for the comments that I make in this Waking Infinity Stories. This isn't the news. It's all fiction. Remember, the Waking Infinity Stories is just fiction. So I'm just babbling, and you decided to click. You decided to keep listening. This is all on you. I'll tell you what I'm really getting at. In this country today, and in the mainstream media, we're being told there are only two problems here. And you can be on one side of the problem or the other side of the problem. You are either woke or you're anti-woke. If you're woke, you probably have a whole dictionary right now that you're reading to try and figure out what you're allowed to say through some sanctioned authority that you don't even know who it is. You just think they're on my side. And if you're anti-woke, that probably means that you're a homophobic, white, misogynist male with Trump tendencies. Now, I listen to Tim Pool. I was actually listening this morning. I try and listen to people on both sides of that political divide that I just see as being a line, and people obey it for some reason. They're like, yeah, I'm going to stand on this side. Why? Because other people said that this side is informed by all these little particulates, and over there, it's all those particulates. Those particulates. And that's how it really turns out to be. And then you step back from it and you just see it just looks like a bunch of squiggles with a line running down the middle. And then if you're really paying attention, you realize that you get some tendencies on both sides of it, and then you get some of the arguments there, and you don't have to fall on one side or the other. And in fact, probably the safest thing for you to do is just turn on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and just tune out of all of it. But as I was listening to, it was on the Timcast IRL, and there was two individuals. They had a company. It was a guy and a girl. I'm forgetting the name right now. But they were talking about their hiring standards. And there were people who were coming in from woke culture, and they were complaining about the hiring process. So they decided, listen, instead of just pushing back against it, we can go overboard and try and become inclusive with a conversation first. And I kind of like this because it's that they actually wanted to reduce the amount of harm that's going out there. There are people getting highly offended by things. And there are others on the other side of the aisle. It's like, I don't care. They can get offended at whatever they want. Those people. But this group was like, no, let's hear your arguments. And at the end of the day, they said it really felt baseless. They felt offended by something. And then they said, okay, we want to reduce this harm, the employer said. What is this offense based in? What did you feel offended by, and what does it actually mean when we get down to it, so we can turn it into a policy that protects people who feel offended by the same thing? And they said, as deeply as they went into these conversations, none of them ever reached any real bottom. So there was critical race theory, critical gender theory, and there was all these things that were being used, but there was no solid foundation that holds up the rest of it. Now, mind you, this is these people speaking from this company, and they didn't even agree with everything that Tim Pool was saying. Tim Pool was throwing some things out, and they're like, no, we don't see it that way. So now that we have all these ideological camps, when we're trying to get to where is the basis where we can all find harmony? Because that's what we're really talking about. Where is there the potential for harmony between all people? And here is where it starts to break down. There doesn't seem to be a base underneath any of it. So it really makes you question, what is the root of all of this? Where does it really lie? How do we actually get to some point where we are coming back together in harmony? And on Twitter, are Twitter comments really a good expose of the real America? Do Twitter comments truly show us how people think in their minds, or does it show us how people behave behind technology? Because I meet people from all sides of these debates, even the conspiracy theorists who are standing outside of it, the alternative media theorists that are standing outside of it, the nihilists who just completely disengage from all of it. Helga gave up her toe, right? I meet all these people. And when I meet them, I try to engage. I see where they actually lie. And some of them, from every single camp, are people I absolutely can't stand talking to. However, when I meet all these people and I talk to people, let's say, from woke culture and even anti-woke culture, a lot of them make good points. A lot of them, they're not people I would invite to my birthday party on both sides because, for the most part, I don't like inviting that many people to my birthday parties. But really getting down to it, people from woke culture and people from anti-woke culture, they all seem to enjoy some of the same foods. They like some of the same activities. They all seem to like music, even though the music styles maybe differ a little bit. Most of them enjoy long walks on the beach. And they all agree that the last season of Game of Thrones was terrible. Where's the disconnect? Where is the foundational basis where harmony is not being had? Where is the disharmony really rooted? Is it the mainstream media? The AI algorithms that pushes media of a specific nature to you and very, very, very different media to people on the other side of that imaginary line? Well, it's all part of the plan, if you will. Because in order for America to fall, if that were the plan, if you really wanted America to fall, right? Most empires, they only last about 250 years. Guess where we're at? Yeah. So, if you wanted America to fall, if there were outside countries that are really just infiltrating the narrative that's infiltrating the country, then you'll really start to see that the way to take America down is with a Trojan horse. Marcus Tullius Cicero said, "A nation can survive its fools, but it cannot survive treason from within." So, my question to you, which one is the traitor? Is it woke culture? Is it anti-woke culture? Just kidding. It's a trick question. It's obviously Bill Gates.